Good afternoon or evening, depending where you're from. This is another video from the Artful Coder in the SSIS series. So in our previous video, we built up a simple data warehouse just using SQL. So that was a series of stored procedures, some tables, a schema, and you could effectively just run that by running one linked stored procedure and put your stored procedures in and run it. But today I want to talk through setting up the environment to start creating the data flows or control flows within Visual Studio. There's a couple of steps you have to go through, and I will try and pause the video at various points just so that it skips the time of installing. So there's a couple of things you'll need to update. SQL Server for one, you need to add integration services. Visual Studio, you need to add SSIS support. So let's do SQL Server first. So what you want to do is go to, let's go to All Apps, find the SQL Server folder down here, and do Installation Center. Now, the immediate installation files. You can't get around it without it or not. So what you need to do is go to this one up here, Add Features Existing Installation. Find your medium. It so happens on my computer I've got it under a folder on the C drive. You can put it wherever, but this is the developer edition, so choose that folder. It's going to load up. Give it a second indeed. So it's going to load up. I'll just pause the video until it's ready. Oh, hang on, here we go. So this is updating SQL Server. So click the next button. It's going to do some checks to make sure we can do it. Yeah, no, do that. And what you want to do is you're not going to create a new installation of SQL Server. You've got features to an existing installation. You can see here we've got two instances here. So the second one is one we've been playing about. If you choose that, click next. You don't want this. You don't want as their extension. You may do, but in this particular instance, we don't need, so untick it. Go to next. And what you want to tick is this here, which is integration services. That's all you need to do. You could put these in, but you don't need it. Click next. And it's going to go through the next stage. Click next. It's going to summarize what you're installing and where it's going to do it all to. Click install. This is going to take some time, so I'll pause the video. See you soon. Okay, welcome back. So it's installed integration service. Do close. That's now the support added SQL Server. And the next thing we'll just do as well is we'll actually you have to create a catalog in SQL Server. So let's just run that up. We're going to point it to our new instance. And we'll need a password. So what I suggest we do for this is let me just spawn a new one of these up because I want to go through it stage. It's got to load SSMS, so we do connect. And it may look like it's already got it installed before you put SSIS, but it doesn't. It bails out if you don't install that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to password generator. And there's one I do use, which is quite good. Okay, let's try random password generator. You get passwords. There you go. I want to go back. Let's say 32. It's a bit longer. Okay, so we're going to copy that. And the next thing we need to do is right click in SMS on your server on Integration Service Catalog. Create Catalog. Enable CLR. Give it a password. It will create a SSIS database. Click OK. That's that. Okay, so we've now got our integration service database. We've given it a password. That's absolutely fine. And also you've got SQL Server Agent, which we handy when we start adding jobs to schedule the warehouse up. So that's that done. Next thing we need to do is go to Visual Studio. This is the solution we created in our clean architecture solution. And this is what adds the cars to our cars database up here. Follow my clean architecture solution for that. You can see that we just had a simple table with cars, which just has a couple of cars in, and that's added with our entity framework, etc., through Visual Studio. Now, to install SSIS inside of Visual Studio, you need to go to Google and type Visual Studio SSIS extension. So let's do that. Let's close, let's just leave open now. So download. It's going to take time, so again I'll pause the video and come back when it's ready. Okay, welcome back. So that's now downloaded. So if we go to a downloads folder, we've got Microsoft Integrate Data Tools. Let's double click that. This is from Microsoft, so you might want to virus scan other programs. So let's see if there's another English. No. So it's United States. Click OK. Click Next. Okay. Not picking the Visual Studio instances up for some reason. What is that? Just close that again. Let's run as administrator. Don't make much difference. We'll just see. Okay. Okay, so it's not detected it. Why is that? Let's go back to Google. That should do that. Let's just do that. Why has it not picked that up? Okay, let's just have a look. That should. Okay, strange. That should have picked that up. So, let's just do. Oh, why is it not picking it up? Let's try another way. Let's go to SSIS Visual Studio 2022 SIE. Let's see it. Let's have a look. So it says it's got that there, which we haven't got. What version were we on? This is where you start looking at 2022. So let's go to. Apologies, it's me. We downloaded the wrong version. So I do apologise. So what I'll do is download this one. This just happened. You do look for Google. So let's just leave that. I'll pause the video and we'll come back when this is finished. Right, let's see if this works. If we go to a downloads file, apologies for that. Double click that. It'll load up. Click OK. Think about it. Okay. Click Next. Here we go. So we've now got our instance of Visual Studio. Click Install. Say yes. Let's go load that so you can see it's loading that. So it might take a bit of time, so I'll pause it and we'll rejoin when it's downloading and installed. Welcome back. So there was a few problems trying to install Visual Studio SSIS into Visual Studio. So what I did in the end, looked at different resources, and it looks like the one from within Visual Studio did work to install it. So let's just launch Visual Studio and I'll show you what I mean. So go to 2022. So if we go to a car solution, at the top here you got extensions, manage extensions. So this is the better way to do it. Historically, I've always downloaded it separately, done it separately, but this is another way to do it, so you ensure you get the right version for your version of Visual Studio. Just let this load up. This is a solution we did as part of the clean architecture. So let's just go back into manage extensions. Here we go. So if you simply type in there SSIS, we've already got it installed, so you can see there we've got it installed, but that's what comes up. So what we can do now is we can actually create a solution, but before that, I just want to go into SQL Server Management Studio, because what I'm going to do is security is key when you're doing anything like this. You want to make sure that you don't just use the SA password or Windows authentication. It's a good habit to get in setting an account up for your warehouses. So go to security, logins, and you can see that Cars DB has created a brand new login. And let's call this SSIS. Let's go use SQL authentication. We're not going to enforce a password policy. So we type go to Google random password generator and go to, let's try this one. There's several sites that do it. No, that wants us retry, so I won't do that. Where was it? Here we go. Choose 32, get passwords. Yep. Use that one. Go over to here. Trick the password. You can go for some more complex you want. So, what permissions are we going to give it? So it definitely needs access to read from the car's database. So click data reader, and it needs, we won't give it any rules over SSIS, or we can just basically say it's public access, because I want to show you where you can secure your draw procedures down so it's really secure. So click OK, OK, and then let's go to our database, go to SSIS. So you'll notice there's two SSIS DBs. This is the Integration Services Catalog database. This is the one we created. So let's go to tables. Couple things we'll need to do. We should just have two tables. Right click, do properties. It loads up, go to permissions, do search, SSIS, click OK, click alter. Now this permission is needed because it needs to effectively truncate the table in our stored procedure for our data warehouse. Then go to programmability stored procedures. You'll see there's three here. Do properties, do permissions, do search, do browse, do SSIS, OK, then click execute. Now, if you don't want to do it this way, the other option you can do is to set the user as DB owner, but that is a bit more dangerous because they'll have other access to that database, to your database. Click OK, just do properties, permissions, browse, OK, OK. So now a warehouse with that user should have everything it needs to run. So back over to Visual Studio, let's just close that down. Let's do right click and do add new project and do empty. Here we go. So this is what you're going to need here. Double click that. Let's call this SSIS cars warehouse. Click OK, click create. And what we should find in here is we've got a default package. So what I would suggest we do is you've got your SSIS toolbar over there. Let's just rename this. So let's call this insert TMP. And there's a reason I like to do as a series of SSIS packages, because it then allows you to control the steps later on. So let's rename that as merge. Give it a bit more lap, it's up to you. Then we do. Okay, so what you're going to want first is an execute SQL test. Drop that in. Okay, so that's there. We're going to need connection manager as well. So let's do new connection manager. Let's go with ado.net. You can use ILDB, click new. Server name. Let's see what it does. Seconds. Should hopefully come back. Okay, it's found nothing, but we know server is /kev /ms SQL Server. And we're going to go with this. I'm going to call it SSIS. That's what we've got. So we do database. Give it a second. Give it a second. Oh, hang on, it's me. Schoolboy error. Okay. So we're in the login process. I wonder if I've got the right password for it. Let's just copy Activision Studio. Click OK. Oh, it's not issued by sticker chain that was trusted. So it's not liking that. Let's just say false. There you go. That's because we're not encrypting it. So yes, you'd want to do that in production environments. Let's choose SSIS. Click OK. Click OK. So we now have a connection manager. So there's a couple of things what we need to do. So we're going to start adding our warehouse functionality. So the first one you want to do, what I always tend to find this easy is just do that. And we're going here, click up here. And what I tend to just do is take that out. And let's just give it that. Now, so you need to drop this down to ado.net. Drop that down, find our connection. And there's a couple options you've got here. If you say true here, then all you do is put dbo.that. But this doesn't work when you want to pass parameters in. So let's go from this from the beginning. So false. And all you're going to want to change is to leave that as is, exe, done. We can test it. So if we execute task, it's going to build it. There you go. That store procedure runs. So it's a series of store procedures that we're going to chain together. So let's just add this in here. Add a transition down from down here to down here. Let's go for the next one, which is this one. I'll just find it easy to rename it, get the name of it. Go into here. And we'll just do that. Okay, and we're going to use this. What we're going to do, just going to click OK to that a minute if it's let me do it, because I need to do something. So we want to go to parameters next. So let's go back to parameters, and let's say is incremental. And we want a boolean. There you go, and we'll set that to required true. Let's just save all of that, go back to here. And then what you should do is you need to map your parameters. Okay, didn't save it, never mind. That's fine, so choose a connection again. Do that. And we get parameter mapping, let's do add. And just choose a type of bit, no bits, so boolean. Boolean is treated as a bit. And then control A at is incremental. Set a length of 0. And then all you want to do is to pass that parameter in. Say exe bish. Let's just try it again. dbo.bar. And that is incremental. There you go. So let's just save that. So what we should find at the moment in here, we've got nothing. But then if we run our warehouse, So what you can do is right click the package, execute package. There you go. So if we rerun that store procedure up there you go. So we're now using Visual Studio SQL Server integration services to do our warehouse effectively. That's it. So in the merge package, same again, execute SQL task, go over to here. Let's just do rename up to here. Go to, needs a connection first. Let's do it. You have to, it's a bit wrong way around, but we'll have a do that. Then go down here and do connection, that, do exe. Let's just leave that as it is for a minute. Add type of Boolean, Control A at is incremental 0. There you go. So if we execute tasks, there you go. So what you should now find in here, got your cars in there, symbols. So that is pretty much using Visual Studio to work through various steps. That's all well and good, but how do we then run that from the server? We need to push the package up to the server and set up the steps to do that. So I'll talk through doing that now. So what you'll do is go on to SSIS warehouse, right click, deploy, click next, click SSIS in SQL Server, and it's 00 have 1. It's going to ask for a path within SQL Server, and let's create a new folder called MI. Click OK, click deploy. Right, so now we've deployed our package up to the server. It's not got a lot to it, but then if we come down here, not that one, that's our SSI. Ah, so yeah. So if we drop that down and go into integration services, there you go. You'll have your packages on the server. So that's very good so far. So we'll just copy this because we'll need to set this up. And then we just configure the agent to run a job. And the way you do that is go into here, so make new job, right click on the jobs, call this run cars house. Okay, steps, let's do new, and you're going to call this run warehouse insert TMP. And it's going to run a package. So what we want, okay, ignore me because I just realised it's going to try and find the server when it won't find it. So give it a second and we'll key it in, and that's another way we can do it. I'll press escape. Okay, so 00 F this SQL Server 1. There you go. Then all you do is you simply choose out of here that one. You do configuration. Yep, so you set that to true or false, which will come in for the reload, so don't forget to set that. So it's got our data source in there. So I'm not going to worry about setting that at the moment. We want to put a password in there, which is this. Click OK, that's our username. Now this retains same connection. This may lock connection while it's running the warehouse. It's better leave it as set to false. So if we go back to OK, do new, run, warehouse, merge. And you would simply use this for truncating your log file if you're doing transactions. So let's go to 00 kev and do ms SQL Server 1. Here, new configuration. Again, we shouldn't need to touch any of that. Okay, so, and you can also schedule the job to run at certain times. This could be run over, run as warehouse. Yep, and then you want to say whatever you want with this, and it occurs at, let's say, 02. Okay, click OK. That's going to create our job, and then we can just we can do start job at step. Should be a really quick warehouse. Thinking about it. Let's have a look. Okay, so we'll debug it. So let's go to reports, standard reports on execution. Pass, it's this one here. Hey, right. So we've got a problem. If we go back over here, it's set to run. Right, let's go back to our job over here, properties. Okay, so it doesn't like that because there's a primary key in there. Okay, so properties, let's go back to that. So minute. It's me being silly again. So we need the parameter in here as well because we're not passing, we've got a parameter but it's getting probably slightly confused. So what we need to do is go back up here, go parameters, go back to merge. No, I was missing, so do that. Type is a boolean. So this is required true. Let's just save that, go back to control flow, parameter mapping. Let's do add, type. Okay. Let's redeploy that to the server. We'll try it again, it might be because that parameter. Okay, next, do deploy. Okay, close. Start job at step. Cancel that, we will need to do some configuration this end. Well, error is going to faults and go to start job at step. See what this does now. Okay, that's just because of that variable. So what we'll do now is do start job at step, click start. Let's see if we can get the warehouse running all the way through now. There you go. So congratulations, we've built a simple warehouse in Visual Studio, deploy it to the server, and you can just simply keep adding your data control flows on here, and you just basically build it up and off you go. So that is all there is pretty much to it. Nothing too scary, hopefully, but that will give you the starting blocks of building a warehouse within SQL Server. And you can do other stuff, like you can add a data flow task. You can come into here and you can double click, go into the data flow. You could say, well, grab the source, where's it coming, where it's going to, are you loading data, you do conversions, and yeah. But we won't get into this video, we may look at another video. But in commercial realms, you want to use your merge statements within SQL Server, because they're a lot faster than trying to process it within SSIS. There'd be nothing to stop you also having a .NET app and just calling these store procedures in sequence, or write one big super store procedure that you call them from, but you don't get the nice reporting here. Yes, you could probably pass the errors back, but this just lays out, handles it all out of the box. You don't need to worry about that. So, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video.